Hey guys, what's up? This is Fatal Cubes here again, and in this Java tutorial we will be exploring the string. So if you don't know what a string is, then what have you been doing for the past 10 tutorials? Because we've used strings a lot. What a string basically is it's text, and we're going to learn how we can play around with text to break strings and replace letters and do some cool stuff. So let's get right into this. This is more of an advanced string tutorial, but it's not really advanced. So anyways, first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a splitting test. In other words, let's create a string. I'm going to name mine split test, and we're going to name it split on minus sign. Alright, now as you can see, this seems like one word, but we have these minus signs that are, sort of separating the four different words in this string. What I want to do is I want to take this and split it into four new strings. One that's split, one that's on, minus, and sign. So what you can do, you should know how to create arrays. Just do a string array. This should refresh your memory on how to do this. Split string equals split test dot split, and it takes in a string regex. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And we're going to do the minus sign. So what this is going to do is it's going to make this array have four different strings: split, on, and minus. Split, on, minus, and sign. Because it's going to say find all the minus signs and chop it off and then count this as its own thing. So it's going to split on the minus. If I wanted to do periods, I could do replace all the minus signs with periods and then split on the period. Alright, so now we can loop through them. I is less than split string. We want to use the array dot length. That returns how long the array is. I plus plus. And all we're going to do is print out the split string at I. So it's going to loop through and print out each one. If we were to run this right now, go ahead and get split on minus sign. As you can see, this split string is now four different strings because it split it all up. Alright, that's an example there. If you didn't know, a string has its own class. So if you were to take split test and hit period, you'd see all these methods. You can use any of these methods, and part of the challenge is going to be to use one of these methods. You might have to do some research and complete the challenge that way. So we're just going to go ahead and, for formatting purposes, we're going to just create an empty line because we're splitting this up. We're actually splitting this tutorial up into three separate parts. And now we're going to look at substrings. So if you don't know what a substring, well, if you couldn't guess what a substring is breaking up one string into multiple parts. It's sort of like splitting, but it's another way of doing it. So, yeah. So substring test equals, and this is going to be, you can also split this. So as you see, this is one messy word, and we're going to split that into an array of words. So this time, to create our array, we're going to call it substrings equals new string, and we're going to give it 5 elements. So this is going to be an array that holds 5 things, and we're actually going to have to manually go through and add each one. But I've prepared this beforehand, so substring, just follow along and I'll explain it in a moment. 0, 3. And okay, so this is going to be substrings. Take that line, copy and paste it 5 times. Change that to 1, 2, 3, and 4. And as you know, arrays start at 0 and go up to how many elements it has minus 1, so 4. 0, 3. This is going to be 3, 6, 6, 10, 10, 15, 15, 19. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to create a for loop to, again, loop through all these because it's an array, and print out each one. again, you're going to do substrings add I. So what does this do? Well, if you highlight over a method, so substring text.substring, it gives you an example. So Java is nice and has all these documented code, and it says examples. Hamburger.substring 48 returns urge. So what does this mean? Well, the parameters is the begin index is the beginning index, which is inclusive, and the end index is exclusive. So 0 is this y. That's inclusive. 3 would be 1, 2, 3. The C, but that's exclusive. So this first one, substring 0, grabs U. 3 is the C again, which is inclusive this time. 6 is N, which is A, which is exclusive, so it's just going to grab the can. You'll see this in a moment when we go ahead and run this, and you'll see that you can also split this. Okay. So for more formatting, we're going to create another empty line. And the last thing we're going to do is a pretty simple thing, is replace. So let's say you have a string, replace test, and you set that equal to something like hello. Let's say you wanted to turn hello into hippo. Now, as you see, there's a few things. We need to change the E to an I and the L to a P. So it's a pretty simple thing. You do replace test. So we're overriding what it equals right now. So it's now going to equal itself. Replace test dot replace. And we need an old character and a new character. So the old character is going to be E. The new character is going to be I. So it's going to say now. So the first step is turning hello into Hillo, or Hillo. Now we have to do this one more time. And this time we're going to replace all the L's with P. And you need single quotes when using characters. And let's just go ahead and print out replace test. So if we were to go ahead and print it out right now, so you print it out, and the first time you print it out, it says hello, and then it changes to hippo. So the point of this video was not mainly focused on just strings. There's a greater purpose to this video, showing you that using Java objects, like string as an object, you can go through the different methods to do different things. So I showed you how to split strings, find substrings, and replace characters. You can do this with random or scanner, like we learned in the guessing game, and mess around with their functions as well. So if you wanted to try getting different random numbers or do different things with the scanner, you can just do whatever the name of your variable is, and then hit the dot, and it should bring up a list of suggestions. Hey guys, sorry about that. I had to go do something, but yeah, that's a weird interruption. Anyway, so like I was saying, you can test it out with different Java objects by hitting the dot key, and it should bring up a list of suggestions. And you can just go through, and when you hover over it, it should tell you things about it. There's a lot of code behind it, a lot of comments. If you look over replace, replace, you see it gives you all this. Returns a new string resulting from replacing all the occurrences of old character in the string with the new character. Examples: mesquite in your cellar. That replace EO returns mosquito in your collar. So there you go. Anyway, for the challenge in this video, it's going to be pretty simple, but it's going to take a little bit. You may have to research this one, like I was saying earlier in the tutorial. All you have to do is have a scanner, have the user input something like hello, and then all the letters need to go 3 more in the alphabet. So you're basically like encrypting it. So if you were to translate, let's just show an example. ASDF would become, you go 3. So A, and you go B, C, D. So be D, E, F, G. Or something like that. It's basically going to be an encryptor, and whatever the user types in, you will print out the encrypted version with each letter plus 3. Now, if the letter is something like Z, you're going to have to wrap it around. So Z would become C, and Y would become B, or something like that. And, yeah, so you'll see it. If you don't understand, you'll see it in the next video. So, see you guys. Bye.